Hi guys, and welcome to another Divi theme video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. We've got another little hover effect for you today. We've got an image there. When I hover over it, it's going to have another image slide in and appear from the left hand side. And you can pop this out into a light box, do what you want with it. Really easy to do. There's no coding involved in this today or no extra plugins. So let's get started. I'm going to enable the Visual Builder so we can build on the front end. Okay, well I've got a little row here, the green tab with 2 columns inside. I've got my image in that first column there. Let's work on this second column. I'm going to hit the little dark button to add a module. Divi comes as standard with all these modules, plenty enough to build just about any site. Gives you an extra dozen too if you've got WooCommerce installed. I want an image module, there it is. I'm going to click on the field to add my image. Now this effect is going to work better with images that have a similar aspect ratio. It'll work with any sort of combinations of size, but it's best if they have a similar aspect ratio. So I'm going to put 2 in. Okay, well there's our little image right there. If we roll down a bit, you can choose whether you want to link it to something. If you do, put your link in there. Always best practice, if you're linking to your own site, leave it in the same window. If you're linking off site to somebody else's site, open it in a new tab so your site stays open. I'm going to choose to open mine in a light box and that'll pop it out as we saw in the beginning there. Okay, well, let's move on to our design. Don't want to do too much at this point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this. Now we're going to make the swap happen. To do that, we need to work on our row. The second image that we see, or the initial image actually, the one that we see first, will reside in our column of our row here. So let's go into that column, hit the cog in the green tab there to go into the row. We're working on column 2, column 1, column 2. Okay, and want to go into the background. And for the background, I'm going to add an image. You've got color, gradient, image, or video. I'm going to add me an image. And as I say, they work better with the same aspect ratio, but it should work with pretty much any image as long as you cover the area. Okay, so we got this one initially that we've put there. I'm going to slide this one out of the way so we see this one when we first load the page. Then when we hover over, this one's going to slide in for the side. Now you see a little N5 there. That's actually the title of the image itself. So we'll get rid of that in a minute. Okay, so we've put our image in the column. Want to make sure that down below we're not going to use the parallax effect. Want to make sure it's set to cover, center, no repeat. And those are the defaults, so it should be set to that as soon as you go in there. Now while we're in the column, because I'm going to slide this over to the left, I want to have overflow hidden so that we don't see it once it slides out of the column area. So let's go over to the Advanced tab. We're still in column 2 over here. Going to go down to Visibility. And here we've got horizontal and vertical overflow. I'm going to set both of these to hidden. So anything that we move outside of that area right here will be hidden. Alright, well we're good to go now. We'll save that. We'll save the main row settings. Let's go back into the module itself, which is our initial image here. Now we're going to slide it out of the way. To do that, go into the image, the dark tab. Going to go over to the design tab. Going to go down to spacing. Margin. We're on the left, on this left hand side, I'm going to give it some negative margin to pull it all the way over here. And I'm going to give it 100%, which will be 100% of the width of the container that it's in. So that should slide it all the way out of the way. So I'm going to say on the left, negative 100%. And that's pulled it over there, and it's 100% more over here, but that's made it larger, and we've got the right hand side of it down there. So we've got to counter that by giving it some padding on the right hand side of the same positive amount, 100% positive, 100%. And there it is, it's back to size. And if you notice, that's the picture we put in the column. So we're now looking at the picture that's in the column. The actual image that we had there is now over to the left hand side here. Perfect. But we want to bring it all back when we hover over. Now, common to most Divi modules, if you hover over the dark writing, you'll see some little icons appear. There's an arrow there. Click on it and you can set a desktop when your mouse is not on its state, and a hover when your mouse is on its state. So when we hover on this thing, I'm going to take all that margin away. And again, that's made it look a bit weird because we've got to counter it by doing the padding. Now make sure you go down and hover over the padding and get the icon for it. Don't presume because you're on the hover state in the margin it's going to affect the padding. It won't. You need to be on the actual item you want to affect to get the hover state up. So I brought that hover state up here, and when we hover over this one, I now want that to be 0. So I'm just going to put a 0 in there. And we should be back to our original image. So when we're hovering over, we're going to see that. When we're not, we're going to see that. Now the time by default that it takes to go from this to this with Divi is 300 milliseconds. I like to slow mine down for a bit of drama, but that's entirely up to you. You can speed it up also if you want it quicker. But to do that, just go over to the Advanced tab. We're still in the Image module. Going to go down to Transitions. And here's our transition duration. There's the default 300 milliseconds or 0.3 of a second. I'm going to drag mine up to about 3/4, something like that. Obviously you do what you want. You can slide the slide or you can type in a value. Don't want any delay, want it to happen as soon as their mouse hits it. And the transition speed curve I'm going to use is ease in, ease out. They're all slightly different. Some will work better in certain situations than others, but for this sort of effect I like that one. But try them out and make your own mind up. Okay, the only other thing is I've got an N5 on the middle of that image there. That's actually the name of the image. If you don't want that to show up, let's close down transitions right there. Go up to attributes. We're still in the Advanced tab of the image, and attributes is third down from the top there. Just simply delete that title. And now when you hover, that's not there. Okay, if we've done everything correctly, we should be good to go. Let's save our changes here. Before I save the page changes, I will just mention something. Once you've moved something with a bit of negative margin, sometimes it's kind of difficult to get back into that module, because as you can see, the module tab, the dark one there, is kind of pushed out of the way here. Same with this one. If that happens, you need to edit it and you can't get to your little cog to edit it, just hit the little purple button here. Over on the left hand side you'll see this little icon. That's for wireframe mode or back end mode, and you can get to it that way. That'll just take you straight in. There's our first image, there's our second image, and you can get into it that way. But that's only if you have a problem. So I'm pretty happy with the way things are. So I'm going to save everything and exit the visual builder. And if we go down, there's that image we put there. When I slide over, that other one's going to slide in. And we've got a link for a light box as well if you want to pop it out. And when we go back, it's going to let go. And as with most hover effects, if people are mousing around your site and something like that happens, it's going to get their attention pretty quickly. And as several people have mentioned, these hover effects are always best on desktop, because tablet and mobile, they're not going to know to tap on something, which it will work, but they'll have to tap on it to get that to work. Great thing about Divi is you can do different versions for desktop, tablet and mobile and adjust it accordingly. So there you go guys, there's a simple image swap hover effect with no coding or no extra plugins. I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, ring the bell, comment, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Once again, this has been Jamie with System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.